All right. Hooah! We are live on Twitch and also YouTube Live. It is hot. 88 degrees outside already. I'm sure if I looked, I'm going to look. I'm going to look and says, feels like. I like that. I always like the feels like 4,087. 89 degrees feels like 97. Just say 97. Just say 97. Apparently, we're supposed to get some rain today. Soon, by 1 o'clock, we're supposed to get some rain. And then for several hours tonight, more rain. Which makes sense because it's the time of year, right? It's the most wonderful time of the year. So that does make sense that we would get a lot of rain. Mid 90s every freaking day, mid 90s. Ugh. Brutal. So I got a lot of different random things to do today. So I'm going to do a lot of different random things today. I'm also going through some emails. And we'll see. See what happens. What's up, Charlie? How's it going, my friend? How is it going? I feel like I'm going to get a lot of talking in today. I got other stuff I have to do. I actually very good this morning. I got 5 things off of my list of things to do, all the easy stuff. I got some writing in. I wrote a short story wrote a short story this morning. Not for anything, just because I had an idea and I just sat down and wrote it. About 3,500 words. And I want to do other stuff. Maybe to catch the stream. I'm off today and have been missing the stream while I'm at work. Yeah, I know we haven't seen you. Glad you're in. You're supposed to eat the big frogs first. I don't even know what that means. There's Mr. Frank on Twitch. Before you leave Twitch, Frank, because you're going to go, why am I on Twitch? I need to be on YouTube Live. Before you go over, hit the resubscribe button on there. I would appreciate that. Hit the resubscribe and then pop over if you want. Or just stay over there. It doesn't matter. You son of a bitch. It's like you're teasing me. I wish there's a way you could just reopen it over there. Oh, yeah, there is. He's a pain in the ass like you, Charlie, with the ad blocker stuff. You people, I'm going to have a heart attack. I need to charge my watch. Why is it not charging? There you go. My daughter is using the Prime subscription anyway, since I'm not. Well, then tell her to hit it. Son of a... These kids today. Yeah, I haven't really even gone on Twitch for anything. I keep getting the things popping up, and I'm like, I should go on and subscribe to somebody and be nice, because it's not like it's costing me any money, but then I never get on. Speaking of sexy, good morning, everyone. There's Chad Lutsky. What are the neighbors doing? Go back inside. It's 1,000 degrees out, people. 1,000 degrees. again, I'm getting stuff done today. I'm feeling good. I wrote 3,500 words this morning. Started and finished a short story. I had the idea. I'm like, if this isn't for anything specific, I'm just going to write this story. And I did. Got up early. I'm going to do some edits. Ugh, I hate edits. Because let me pull that up as well. We finally got rid of that dog yesterday. Very nice people came in and took the dog. Dang, that's a lot of words. I'm still working on the screenplay outline. That'll take me a good long while, I'm thinking. If I was that editor, I would say thinking with a G at the end. Stop with the Copilot stuff. Everything is Copilot. Do you want to use Copilot on this and be mindless? No. Shut your mouth. If I wanted mindless, I don't know. I would do something that was mindless. So I'm going to do five chapters of edits. Dog nappers, they're called dog nappers. No, we actually gave this is the dog that my wife was like, this is the dog that Jess is like, oh, there's having the wildfires. Can we just, basically taking the dog temporarily for a week, and then like 24 hours in, she's like, I can't handle all this. So then we ended up taking the dog and going back and forth. And it's 7 weeks, and the dog was staring at me, and I don't like dogs, chasing the cats. I don't like her attacking my cats. And finally, my wife's been busting her chops, trying to get this dog to a good home. I've tried not to be a jerk about it. Yesterday, a young couple came. The guy's name was Micah, M-I-C-A-H. I'm like, oh yeah, you're definitely going to be a serial killer in one of my books coming up. And then they came, they hung out for like an hour, getting to know the dog getting to know them, and then they took the dog. So it's all good. So now my cats can like run around in their own house now without having to worry about a dog attacking them. Ford Micah, yes. Afterwards, I thought, oh, I should have said, hey, this dog is for Micah. that would have been hysterical. Bet Micah's parents are fun. So so here's the thing. The girl had texted back and forth with my wife about the dog, and she said, is it all right if I bring my partner with me? Now, in this day and age, when a woman says they're going to bring their partner with you, I just assume, okay, her partner is a female. No big deal. So then, of course, I was like, well, maybe they're to use a term you're not allowed to use anymore, maybe they're lipstick lesbians. I pictured them. I had no idea who they are. I'm like, this is an older couple. I don't know why. They pull up. And I'm like, well, it's not a Subaru. And she gets out and she's like early 20s, wearing yoga pants, her hair up. Cute little girl, tiny little girl. And I'm like, okay, so this is the other one's got to be the male of the thing. And then Micah gets out and he's got a full, perfectly coiffed beard, like and that comb over, like he isn't losing his hair, but his hair is all combed. He looked very, I'm like, oh, this dude can tell you what his top 5 IPAs are. You know what I'm saying? This is a hipster. He had his sneakers on with his black socks all the way to his knees with some kind of weird sayings on them. Nice guy, though. And so he's good. He's a good guy. And then they hung out for a while, and then they took the thing. They took the dog. I'm not a fan of partner. If my wife introduced me as a partner instead of husband, I'd be mad. Yeah. I always say this is my latest wife. No, she'd probably kill me if I did that. I think that's a TikTok thing, isn't it? Right? This is my current wife or my latest wife or something like that. I mean, I've had 3 of them. I guess I could say that. There's Keith. That you loosely is right. Well, you're right this morning, Keith. I wrote like 3,500 words. I started and finished a short story. I had a very good morning, and I'm going to write a little bit more today. Chad says, I think these days partner is like some new age hipster way of just saying boyfriend, girlfriend, or even spouse. Well, apparently it is. I was very disappointed when Micah got out of the car. And then they came in, I forget her name. She has some normal 20-something name like Danielle or something like that. But he's like, Micah. And I'm like, and then I was just sitting there and I was like, what was your name again? And he's like, Micah. I said, Micah? He's like, yeah. And Shelly's like, he's a writer. And he's always looking for different names and stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're definitely going to be in one of my stories coming up. I didn't want to say, as a hipster who gets killed. Frank says, speaking of tiny little girls, there's a super fat girl documentary on HBO that you would enjoy if you didn't hate HBO. Well, it's Paradise, Big Girls Paradise, whatever. So it's originally was on Investigation Discovery, 3-parter, and we taped them last week when they were on because they come on there first before they drop them to HBO or whatever. So we actually have them taped, and we might even watch them tonight or Wednesday night. So yeah, we will be watching that. Big Girls, I think it's called. 3 commercials before allowing me in. What is the rent due? You haven't been here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Just shut up and watch them. I need money. Yeah, that one. Yeah, it looked interesting. You have to cover for all the. Stop, Charlie. Stop that. They beat me. I did 2,900. I did 35, and I'm going to do more. Definitely do more today. I just want to do 5 chapters of edits on this book real quick. It's the last yeah, we shouldn't probably use that word. So this is like the last round of edits. So there isn't a ton. There's a typo here and there. Obviously from chapters that Tom wrote, because I'm a freaking genius. And we're already on chapter 4. Yeah, I can see where that would be. Armand is a professional. Don't beat yourself up about it. Exactly. I'd literally do this to pay the bills. Micah steps out of the car and says, these are our kids, Aiden, Braden, Caden, and Jaden. Yeah, pretty much. Tom says, hey, there's Tom. Hey, it's actually not constantly thundering today. But it's supposed to rain about 1 o'clock, though, Tom. Yesterday we got not a lot of rain, but it got dark yesterday like crazy. Extreme outline for the corporate thriller, and I may be able to hit 68K words on it. Again, 63 is the sweet spot. That's what they're looking for. Yesterday we had the dog people here. They take the dog. My wife goes to her mom's. I got a lot of writing in yesterday with Chad Lutsky and Peter Marsh. We got some writing in, which is good. I wrote a little more after that, before the people came here to take the dog, and then I watched a little bit of baseball, and I'm like, I'm going to go lie down and read. And I go lie down and read, and it's like 2:30 at that point, maybe. That was like 3 o'clock. We'll call it 3 o'clock. I read like 4 pages, and I'm like, I need a nap. I'm tired. And so I nap. I close my eyes, and then I wake up. I must have been having a nightmare. I wake up, and it's pitch black out. It's nighttime. And I look at my watch, and it's like 3:45. And I'm like, I slept all day into the night, and the light's on in the living room, so I'm yelling for my wife. I'm like, it's 3:30 in the morning. Why is that light? Why isn't she home? Now I'm like panicked. I get up. I go I'm looking around. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Where the hell is she? I come and sit down at my desk, and I look at the time, and it's 3:50 p.m. I'm like, oh no, we're still on this. I slept for 45 minutes, not 12 hours. But it was so dark out. It was like nighttime. It was like we lived in Alaska again. True story. Yeah, so the Tiger game got canceled. There's Haas. I got to catch up to that, Keith. I've only read the first 2 chapters. Keith says, I'm only putting those 5 chapters up on Royal Road. That's how they get you. That's how they bait you in, and then you got to buy things. Those bastards. All right. Any edits on chapter 5? No. I must have wrote that one. I must have wrote that because if Tom had written that chapter, it would have been 47 marks. Let's see what we got on chapter 6, though. Oh, no, we got one. How is Shelley holding up with the dog gone? She was sad. She cried yesterday a little bit, and then she was fine. And then she went over to her mom's, and I guess her and Jess had a cry about it or whatever. Who knows? And then by the time she got home last night, she was a little sad, but the people had sent her a picture of the dog that had made a, of course, my wife overdoes everything. So there was we had gotten the dog a bed, and we gotten the dog food, and we gotten the dog this and that and the other thing. And so basically then the people sent her a picture and an update. So she's like, please update me and let me know how she's doing. So I think that was good. Keith says, no, we're Haas going to keep. Let's try and get it pubbed by the Big 5. You got to watch that, Keith, though, because if part of it is published online, they might not want it. I'm just throwing that out there. Haas, yeah, Haas knew you were going to make him pay the rest of it. I'm liking it, Keith. Any word on the competition? Haas, you can be a beta reader? Chet says, you're on the hunt for an agent, Keith? So many questions today. So many questions. All right, so I did some edits. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go through these some more emails real quick. I'm 2 chapters ahead on the Southern Gothic book, which is good. Basically it's like a week ahead. So now I'll be 3 weeks before MondoCon, unless I slow it down. He says, possibly Chad and no word on the competition, Charlie. Frank says, I'm looking for a secret agent, man. So, fried apple pie wasn't a... I got it. I actually marked it on my calendar, Tom. Marked it on the calendar, and all of the calendar says is apple pie. In fact, a week from today, McDonald's is bringing back their delicious apple pie, and I will be there, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, we don't have it in this location." Like, how many you got back there? 20? I'll take 25. That's literally next Monday. That will be my lunch. Fried apple pie from McDonald's. I had posted up the article. When you said the article, I'm like, if this is AI, Tom, I'm going to punch you in the face. Yeah, OG apple pie. They're bringing it back for the 200th anniversary of America. Because what says America more than apple pie, but good apple pie? So, yep, starting next Monday for a limited time, we're going to have the OG apple pie back. Original recipe. An original crunch to it. So I am very excited. It'll be like hot boiling lava. So I saw an article somebody had posted on Facebook, and of course people are just, Whataburger has a really good peach one. No, this place has a good, there's this little shop in the middle of Des Moines, Iowa that does a much better blah, blah, blah. I'm like, shut up. Who gives a crap about Des Moines, Iowa? Even in the best of times, who cares? Like, just don't be an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Don't be an idiot. People are idiots. Now, this is America, like good old apple pie that's so hot you get sued. Yeah, exactly. Hot take. I never really enjoy. Oh, Frank. I wish they'd bring back McDonald's cookie. Yeah, those McDonald's cookies were the bomb. Sorry for yelling. McDonald's cookies were really good. There's nothing better than biting Grimace's head off. Nothing in this world. Oh yeah, huge fan of the apple pie though. The first 9K is up, so roughly 12%, and is not the core of the book, so I'm keeping an open mind. I'm just trying to be helpful, not trying to be negative. I realized they didn't do the cookies anymore. Oh, Chad. Come on. This is what annoys me. Because I have stuff open, and now all of a sudden Gmail won't. It keeps hitting wait. I don't want to wait. It always seems to freeze up on me. I just want to delete. All I'm trying to do is just delete an email. I'm losing my mind over this crap. I don't want to wait. No, I don't need you up here. Geezer Butler bakes all the cookies, and they are delicious. First, they tease us with the world's best chicken fajita for about a year, then take it away. No more fried apple pie for decades. No more cookies. Who the heck is running things over there? Somebody who's like, oh, let's be health conscious. I'm gonna tell you what I miss. When they had those premium burgers, and it was the Angus burgers. Oh my God. The mushroom Swiss Angus burger. I must have eaten one of those or two of those every day for like 2 straight weeks. I love those so much, and then they discontinued them. They'll probably never bring them back, and they were just so good. I think I'm going to cry a little bit right now thinking about them. Tom says, hopefully these apple pies are not just retelling of the original apple pies. Yeah, hopefully, nobody likes the retelling except for Haas. So my guess is that's exactly what they'll be like, Tom. I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get in line. I'm going to say, give me 2. Give me 2 of these bad boys. Yeah, I was never a big McDLT fan or anything. I don't like a lot of this. The mushroom Swiss burger is why I haven't eaten at McDonald's in about 15 years. Because they got rid of it, or because you ate it and you hated it so much? What is the reason there, Michael? I and then I'm gonna get the apple pies. I'm gonna eat both of them, and then I'm gonna go. You know what? Worth it. And I'm gonna get back in line and go. Give me 30 more. Mike says it's my favorite burger, and they messed it up so bad it shattered my trust. Yeah, that Angus burger, mushroom Swiss Angus burger, was just might have been my favorite fast food burger of all time. Literally had 24 of them. Frank says, back when I worked at Mickey D's, they had a mushroom Swiss burger with cheese sauce. Can't remember what they called it. It was probably the Angus one. Those were freaking delicious. Has she ever had the fried apple pie, or will this be a new experience? Well, she's not. She's not 5 years old, Tom. So yeah, she has had them in the past. She's older than you, Tom. She was very excited. She was very excited. We've talked about it whenever we've gone to Whataburger, and they have like the peach ones, and they do deep fry them, and they're good. And you immediately go, man, I wish McDonald's still did this. The hope is obviously that people are eating them, and obviously they're doing it because they're like, well, the nostalgia, but we also want to make money. So maybe we'll make money doing this, and nobody's really eating our crappy apple pies now anymore. So let's just go all in. We don't need a healthy apple pie. We just need a delicious apple pie. Chester, remember that ridiculous burger that they put in the giant styrofoam thing that killed the planet just so the tomato lettuce couldn't get hot? Frank says, I looked it up. They just called it a cheddar melt. Well, then I'm thinking of a different... I'm thinking of the Angus burgers. They're not available. They went out of a third pounder, discontinued in 2013. So 13 years ago. They are a permanent menu staple in several international markets such as Canada, Australia, and Mexico. Introduced nationwide in 2009, the line featured 3 options: mushroom and Swiss, bacon and cheese, and deluxe. Because they were some of the most expensive items on the menu, they failed to sell well and were permanently pulled in 2013. Man, that mushroom and Swiss Angus burger was just fucking delicious. Nobody cared about Angus in the 90s. I loved Angus. Nobody remembers the giant styrofoam burger that kept the lettuce and tomato from touching the burger until you were ready. Yeah, the McDLT. Yeah, Frank mentioned it. Frank literally in the thread mentioned that burger. I never had it. And all their premium sandwiches came in styrofoam back then. Yep. McDonald's was like, we're going to deep fry stuff. We're going to give you calories. We're going to kill everybody. We don't care. And you know what? It all tasted good, and that's the way I wanted to die. Not this wimpy way with eating tofu. The McChicken styrofoam container was wild. Frank would bring them home with him. That's how wild they were. I went to Tijuana Flats because somebody had posted that they'd gone to Tijuana Flats and they got the salad. And I was like, why the hell would you go to Tijuana Flats to salad? But then I looked and I'm like, oh no, it's like the Taco Bell, like the taco salad. It's in the bowl, the edible bowl. I'm like, you know what? I love that taco salad from Taco Bell was like 59,000 calories in that thing. And it was big and it was delicious. And I would get that all the time. Then they got rid of it for, got to be healthy. You go to Taco Bell to get healthy. But anyway, we go to Tijuana Flats and I get it. And it was smaller. And you could tell it's just they make the taco shell. And I'm like, it's not just normal taco shell. Like, this is like, it almost tasted stale, but it wasn't. It was more of, you could just tell it's a healthier bowl. And it's a ton of lettuce, ton of tomatoes, little bit of refried beans. They threw a little bit of chicken in it and some salsa. And I ate it and I was like, this is not why I came here. I'll just go back to the giant burrito. Ugh. They also had ashtray. Yeah, I remember those. I remember my parents, because both my parents smoked. Both my parents taking those little tin ashtrays, and then they were in our house for like years on like every end table in the living room and on the kitchen table and on the counters. There was one in the bathroom. I'm sure there was one in their bedroom. That McDLT premise was as silly as eating a Snickers with a knife and fork. Right, but eating a Snickers with a knife and fork didn't kill the ozone layer as quick as those McDLTs did. Tom says Tijuana Flats is good for their large assortment of hot sauces, which doesn't affect me at all. I like their burritos. The burritos are good. Sometimes the burritos, to start it, you use a knife and fork, though, because if you just pick that thing up, it just falls apart. So you could smoke after downing your Big Mac like a real man. Yeah, and like everybody around you is just smoking away. My parents were those 1970s parents that mom would make pasta and we'd eat the pasta and my dad would eat the last bite and go, oh, that was a good meal. And then he would immediately light up a cigarette, and then me and my brother would get cancer from secondhand smoke. Charlie's very young. He doesn't remember the styrofoam stuff. Tom says styrofoam containers sitting next to those aluminum ashtrays. Yep. Chad still has one of those ashtrays. I wish you still had them. I remember one time we went to Great Adventure. Me, George. You've all met George. He's been in this chat. And I was dating a girl, Lisa Marie. I had this giant. It was almost like a beach bag that she carried everywhere with barely anything in it. I don't know why she did. And we were at the McDonald's closest to Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. And they had the straw dispensers just on the table. And I remember saying, I bet you could fit that in your bag. And she just put her bag over it and then just turned it upside down when we left. And then we took it. And when me and George lived together, no, different Lisa Marie. When me and George lived together, then we had that on our kitchen table. And people would always be like, why do you have a McDonald's straw dispenser? I'm like, do you want a straw or you don't want a straw? I remember we ran out of straws and we're like, hey, next time anybody goes to McDonald's, grab like a handful of straws. Because remember back then, they weren't even wrapped. They were just loose straws. Like anybody could just touch the straws. Chad says, shoot, I remember smoking on a plane. Well, you're really old. He said, I did get that flash fiction ghost story to exactly 1,000 words, so I'm ready for July. Oh, nice. Anyone else submitting to Flash Frog next month? It's on my list, but I haven't even looked at it. Charlie is subbing to them. Not Lisa Marie Presley. Lisa Marie Triola. Remember the Motley Crue classic Smoking in the McDonald's lobby while eating McDonald's Land cookies? Yeah, that was a great song. God, that was a great song. That was a cover. That was a cover of another band. Yeah. Fingers crossed for us sharing a table of contents, Charlie. Mike Lee says gross, which could be anything we've said in the last 10 minutes. Charlie says definitely Keith. This will be our second chance after the Calendar of Fools anthology. Nice. I probably tomorrow I will submit some stories. It's on my list for today, but I'll probably do that tomorrow. And also maybe I'll go through Duotrope and see what else is out there. The uncovered straws. Yeah, they were just loose back in the day. We lived in the wild, wild west, and not the Will Smith movie either. Key says, my story's titled Table for Three, A Haunting on a First Date. Mike says, I've seen how rarely people wash their hands. Imagine in the 70s, we washed them even less. Yeah, nobody gave a crap back then, Mike. Nobody ever said, oh, these straws look dirty. Oh, that kid just sneezed all over the straws. Who cares? It was good for your immune system. Chess said, I remember buying cigarettes at the age of 12 and not even being questioned. No, because I remember my parents, me or my brother, like running to Wasserman's, and I'm going to need two packs of Cools and 2 boxes of Reds. And you go and you're like 10 years old, and then they kind of look at you, my mom and dad. Okay, and then you just buy them. And then at some point, everybody's like, why are all the 12-year-olds smoking? Oh, because you're selling them cigarettes. Tressa, I believe I shared a table contest with Chad years ago, but I think he's the only one here who I've done that with. Nice. Chad, my mom sent me to the corner store for cigarettes and tampons. Never a problem. I hate how that's exactly what I heard in my head when you said Wild Wild West, right? That's why I heard it too, and I'm like, I bet maybe I should specify. Buying cigarettes at 12 used to be like, are you 18? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Washing your hands removes beneficial bacteria. It's like taking a shower more than once a month. What Antho Charlie? Yeah, Charlie. I think he made that up. He is so lying. He just wants to be used so bad. So I finished 3 chapters of the werewolf thing. The second chapter goes up in a couple weeks. About 10 days. But I finished the second one, and I'm working on the third one. The problem is I'm not putting chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I'm just using their names. So it's going to get confusing for me once I start having to upload them. And they're all different years. Back and forth also. Choice is a long title, and I had to look it up. Below the Stairs, Tales from the Cellar, from back in the 2018 or something. Huh. If you got friendly enough with the gas station guy that you called each other boss, buying cigarettes was never a problem. No. Or the guy at Belford at the liquor store. I never smoked, but all my buddies did. George smoked, and I always looked older, even though I think they could have bought it stuff anyway. But they would always be like, hey, can you go in there and buy beer for us? I know you're like 16, but you look like you're 18, and legal age is 21. And yeah, you walk in, hey boss, give me you got 2 6-packs of Coors Light. You got those new Bud cans? Give me 2 of those and a carton of Cools. You're like, the carton of Cools is up to $10, and then I would keep all the extra change. I actually did very well doing that for a number of years, buying alcohol and cigarettes for people. And I never smoked, and I hardly ever drank. Chad says, oh yeah, I remember that. Isn't Harry Houdini and H.P. Lovecraft in that Antho too? I think they wrote new stories for it. Yeah, you have a story titled Breeding Black in that one, Chad. Chad, that sounds like something you go on YouPorn, on what do you call it? Pornhub, and look up. That seems like some keywords there. Yes, it is. Yes, breeding black. That's a dark one. If the clerk didn't want to sell you a pack of Reds, I'd just go to the old man bar and buy a pack out of the cigarette machine. Those machines never gave anyone any lip. That is true. I forgot about those. I think the Brighton bar had one of those because there was always somebody punching it because it never gave their change or anything. Trice is a pretty good anthology, but it was an Australian publisher, and I don't think he's publishing anymore. Haas says, I just used the cigarette machine at the local bar. Easy for an 8-year-old. Yep. As long as you can reach and pull the things, you're fine. I guess everybody's vaping now. I guess that's the thing, vaping. But man, I grew up in a generation where everybody, like literally everybody smoked. I didn't smoke because I had asthma when I was a kid, and also my parents smoked, and I thought it was absolutely disgusting. Even though they as I got older, when they did finally quit when I was in high school, but then it was just like I don't want to smoke. Plus, I was cheap. I'm like, what? We're taxing cigarettes now? Cools with a K classic. Yeah, my mother grew up very poor. She grew up in the ghetto in Newark, New Jersey, Irvington, New Jersey, and they were like the only white family in the entire building. They lived in those buildings like in the Candyman movies, like Cabrini Green, like those, like really, really bad. Like when the riots hit in '65, like my mother thought she was like 15 years old or something. She thought she was going to be killed. But yeah, she smoked Cools because all the black girls smoked Cools, and that's what she smoked. My dad smoked Marlboro Reds because that's what all the greasers smoked in Newark. And then when he went to Vietnam, then he smoked them all the time. And my mother would send care packages to Vietnam for him, and she was like 18 years old buying cigarettes and sending them to him, and he was like 20 years old. Only trend chasing hipsters named Micah vape. Yep. He didn't vape the whole time he was here. I was like waiting for him to. I was like, you look at his hand because they normally have them like they're kind of, they're like kind of hidden off to the side, but then they hit a. I'm like, well, he's not vaping. Mike Lee says asthma as well. I also just hate the smell of cigarettes. Yeah. It's probably why I never smoked weed. My brother smoked weed from like 11 or 12 years old, and I'm like, that just stinks. I don't want to be around that. That's just gross. It broke quarantine house, and it's not just the hipsters anymore. Yeah. House says I fear for a lot of things, but that's part of it. Sounds like you just did a recap of Stern's private parts. You live next door to JJ Dynamite. 5 to 10 years, there will be an epidemic of popcorn lung. Yeah. Living on Reds, vitamin C, and cocaine. Keith said, I never smoked due to my asthma that I got from my mom's secondhand smoking. Yeah, I was as a kid, I had really, really, really bad asthma. And I always think, yeah, probably because both of my parents smoked like chimneys. No, Micah did not have a man bun, but he had that hipster. He had a lush dark brown hair, but he had it combed over. He had the part, and it was combed over, hanging more than the hair, and then a very straight, full beard down, but no man bun. But maybe he was going to grow it. He also didn't have glasses. I thought he would have those really thick, dark, black glasses. He didn't have those either. But he had a shirt. He had some like hipster Moby says something or other. Moby says don't be a dick or something like that shirt. And it was that really off. It wasn't like pink or salmon. It was like that really off orangey pink color shirt. I don't know. Says I started smoking when I was 12, but didn't start inhaling until I was 16. So you're smoking like you're smoking cigars. Smoke weed a bunch of times, thinking this time it won't make me think everyone in the world is literally trying to kill me. Never worked, even the strains that were supposed to help with anxiety. Maybe people were just after you, and they were trying to kill you, and you were smoking weed. You didn't think of that? Frank said, I had asthma as a kid, and my dad smoked cigars and pipes, so obviously I took up smoking in my teenage years, which makes complete sense. Weed does for anxiety what coffee does for insomnia. This weekend's torture film for Lisa was Fury of the Fist and the Gold Fleece. So bad. Troy says, both of my parents smoked, so I didn't want to, but I did pick up dipping while playing baseball in high school. That's kind of a rite of passage, though, right? You gotta tuck some chaw in. I did when I managed bands in the mid-90s, though. Those guys had all, by that point, they had all stopped doing drugs. They'd all stopped drinking, and they'd all stopped smoking. One guy smoked cigarettes. That was the bass player, Johnny Zebro. But they all smoked cigars. So then they got me into smoking cigars. Whenever we were on the road, we smoked cigars. But I was never a huge fan of it, and it always stunk. And then I was like, then I got these, I don't know what the hell they were called. They probably still make them. They were like anisette flavored cigars. Those tasted all right. But again, you don't inhale. Haas says, I still dip. Hell, I dip when I'm recording my videos. So there you go. Do you do the spit? You got to do the spit, or just let it dribble down the side of your chin. Those are good. Those would be good videos. Got to tuck some Big League Chew in your mouth. Oh yeah, you all had to do that, right? We got to do that. Charlie says, I don't while making my videos. Fury of the Fist. Now that's a Pornhub movie. Yeah. The bass player is always the odd man out. Oh, yeah, 100%. Franks is repulsed by dippers. Troy says, I do like cigars, but just one every once in a while. I haven't had a cigar in probably 30 years. I got to the point where I was buying those all the time. I don't remember what the name of those are. I think I do. Are you 21 years or older? Yeah. There they are. Holy crap. Oh, all right. I'm like, there's no way there's 5. Yeah, these are still Avanti Anisette is what I used to smoke. 100% Kentucky tobacco, strong and sweet. They're you can buy a 10-pack, which is 50 cigars total for $62.50, and they were probably about those packs were like maybe like $4 for 5 cigars. I used to smoke those a lot, and then I was like, why am I pissing my money away on this crap? For instance, I can tell you what my dad called them, but it's a pejorative. Also, I have to have a big old wad of Copenhagen when I'm doing my videos. Otherwise, I lose my accent. It helps with the accent. That's good to know. The movie is about a porn star getting his mojo back. Lots of spoof on martial arts. I never enjoyed cigar smoking, probably because I was a cigarette smoker and couldn't not inhale. Yeah. Again, the bass player in that band, John Zebro, would inhale when we smoked cigars. I'm like, dude, you were going to kill yourself. I mean, he's probably dead by now anyway, I'm going to guess. He was about my age, but. I remember he quit the band at one point. It was like in a movie. It was like that. It was like that movie. He quit the band because he started dating the singer in another band. That was she called herself the Wicked Witch. I think the band was Wicked Witch, but with like WYKKED WYTCH, something stupid like that. And he quit the band because he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to Miami. I'm gonna move from New Jersey to Miami and hang out with her." And then, but I'm not joining her band. They have a bass player. And then he quit, and then they tried to get another bass player. And then he came back like 6 months later. He's like, "Yeah, we're not together anymore. I want to be back in the band." And they were like, "Yeah, all right, no problem." Well, let's Google him to see if he's still alive. You know what? Let's do it. John Zebra. Let's see if he's still alive. I don't think it's the John Zebro on IMDb, but let's check. Maybe he made a movie or something. It says he's the John Zebro on here is a trooper in Georgia. No, I don't think he did that. Let's see, John Zebro, New Jersey. He was an 87, so he probably isn't the one that died in Newark. Joshua John Sergeant Slaughter Zebro, 41. I don't think that's him. It's a lot of names. Now this might be him. Wicked Witch Tales. John Zebra, if the band's Zebra. No, Zebro. Zebro. That dude's 82 years old. Why did it? That's not him. I don't think he was 61. I don't think he was 36. I think I found him. I did. I found him. I mean, all it says is he lives in Keyport. He lives on First Street in Keyport, New Jersey, which is very close to when I lived in Keyport. That's funny. I'd be disappointed to find out I'm the least interesting John Zebra. A Zebro. This is checking all the national database, checking all of everything about him you can look up. I'm sure at some point they'd be like, yeah, and that'll be $100. Kevin Zibro. Yeah, that guy. This is so exciting. About 1,000 of you going to say you would not use this to do anything. Yeah, South Amboy. He lived in South Amboy. That's where the band used to practice. On like Schuldiner or something. It was like Chuck Schuldiner from Death was like almost his last name. Maybe they'll tell me the name. Cheese. What? I'm gonna definitely look up Frank Edler after this. That's my Nick Zinn call. I get it. Like it has all these things at the bottom. Love this site. Kept a bad person away from my child. I'm eating a cosmic brownie again, and I better not bite my tongue like I did the other day. It's still a little sore. This takes a long time. On TV shows, they find all this stuff like immediately. And then all this stuff pops up onto their screen. That's when we watch Tracker. And it's like Coulter Shaw calls Randy. Tech guy. He's like, Randy. Can you look up this? I got to find out where this car is. It's like Randy will find the car and go, you know what? The guy stopped at McDonald's in this car 6 days ago and ordered a double cheeseburger. Yeah. Yep, his real last name, John Zebro. And he was like he was a dude who'd done a lot of drugs. And so he wasn't the smartest dude. I don't remember him even ever having a job. I know his parents had died or something. And him and his sister lived in the house. Should I be in that knife and fork? I should, right? They're saying there might be some potentially graphic nature in John Zebro's report. I just know doing this now, I'm going to get all kinds of crazy emails, right? All kinds of crazy nutty stuff. Yeah, he lived in South Amboy. Now apparently lives in Keyport. So bottom line, he's alive. We think. We don't know yet. It's continuing the session. I'm eating another cosmic brownie though. What is this crap? They want my email. Am I ever getting the report? I feel like I'm gonna get all the way to the end and it'll be like, yeah, so it'll be like $80. Probably. Anytime you go to Keyport Fishery, he's probably there. I think I remember him eating seafood once. Yeah, they're going to try to charge me. He's alive, but he might not have a throat from inhaling cigars. Yeah. This takes way too long. This guy could be out there murdering people right now. It's just one of those guys you just wonder what did he do after. Like what did he do after the band broke up? Like what's he been doing for the last 30 years or more? This is ridiculous. It's one of those where like, is this ever going to end? Are they just going to keep? I just keep page after page. I'm like, I'm at 68% total. Let's say it's for scam. Get off there. I'm already here, Haas. I'm gonna get all the way to the part where I'm gonna get all the way to the part where they're like money, and then I'm like, no. Yeah, I like spyware. I think we're gonna get some rain, Tom. Feels like we're gonna get some rain. All right, I'm done with this. Bop, 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 bop. Ugh. I would never eat to 100% the size, literally pointing and laughing at you immediately afterward. Ask for your credit card. Try to warn him. Tom says that's support you. Stick it out. Oh, John. You know what? I wonder if he's on. What do we call that? They call that Facebook. John Zebro. That guy is not John Zebro. That I know. Where's that guy? Nor is that guy. Let's do people. They already got your money now. They're working on your Bitcoin. Should I pay them my Bitcoin? There's a Jan Zebro. Close, so close. The problem is there's a bunch of John Zebros that has no pictures. Frank said you should be more supportive like Tom. So now we'll watch Armand cyber stalk man. What has become of us? You know what? It's fascinating. Maybe Jan Zebro is his wife and she has pictures of him. You think John married Jan? Seems weird. Yeah, I can't find him. But he does live in Keyport now, and he did live in South Amboy. So I would imagine he's still alive. Maybe I'll do... see if I find him on any social media, right? Like Instagram, because now I got to do this. Maybe I spelled his name right. Why does stuff come up for Roman Reigns? The Wikipedia page for Roman Reigns when I type in John Zebro, New Jersey, Instagram. Man, Google is just awful. Is that his stage name? Maybe he's really Marty. No, that was his actual real name. With as much time he's spending looking on scale, you think he was either made of food or was a Thunder Mother song. You know what? Maybe I'll look up Thunder Mother. I guess I just got to go to the gram, as us kids call it. What are you doing? What code? Now I got to open a code. You're a man on a mission. You know, yeah. I mean, what else am I going to do? I'm on a mission, and I'm wishing someone could cure this lonely condition. So it says, they sent a code, but I don't see a code. So let's look on somewhere else. How about the Twitter? right? He seems like he'd be on Twitter. I wouldn't do it. I've done that before. They charge you $1.50. Then a couple days later, they try to charge your account for $50 a month. I've been through that before. On Instagram, we're already way past that, Haas. Again, all kinds of crazy things, but no John Zebro. He didn't seem like he was going to be on. He would be on social media kind of guy, though. Here's the band. I was like, oh, maybe maybe he's on there, and he's not on there. Maybe I'll just give up. John Zebro sounds like a name that'd be on it. Right, I looked on X, he's not on there. Whoops, I'm behind on the live feed. Don't mind me. Check Friendster. John Zebro, he has a Nextel walkie cell phone. He was a weird dude. I liked him, though. According to this, Discogs, John Zebro, an American bassist, he did play bass in Wicked Witch for 2 years. So I guess after they broke up, he went down to Miami. That's funny. What was the band? Local Yokel? Mass Psychosis. They were Psychosis. Then they became Mass Psychosis. They were a death metal band from the Amboys. Man, Google is just, what's everybody using besides Google? Because Google literally, there's nothing on here that's has anything to do with what I'm looking for. I give up. Let's talk about something else. I will find him. DuckDuckGo. Is that what you're looking on? DuckDuckGo. Is Danny P now using AI to do writing playlists? I'm sure he is. It seems like he's using AI to do everything else. It says John is single. No kids. I use that search. It's safe as long as it gives you actual things on it. Because Google is giving me crap. Like page 2 is just like, what the hell is this? Ask Jeeves. I used to love Ask Jeeves. I noticed he's been posting music playlists like dark ambient stuff. I don't know. Ask the Magic 8 Ball, where is the bass player for Wicked Witch Tales? That's a great name for a band. Yeah, so I'm seeing a bunch of different things here for his. He's definitely in Keyport. Definitely not married. Definitely has no kids. All right. Everybody just sitting around inhaling cigars. Well, there you go. Well, wasn't that fun? I use AI, and I am the monster who talks about. I'm the monster resting his balls in the air. I know. I'm gonna get. I mean, it's so blatant, and I'm just gonna guess he doesn't care. He's like, I'm making money, and I don't really care. And maybe if I was to that point, I'd be like, you know what? If I know this can make me money, but people are gonna say crap about me, what do I care? Well, obviously we have different definitions of fun. I think that goes without saying. I will not be on tomorrow, obviously, but I will be back here on Wednesday. Hope everybody enjoyed Flag Day yesterday, by the way. Have you gotten a phone number? Call it. See if it's him live on here. No. I do have it, one of them did give me a phone number. But that's definitely a 732. That's definitely the phone number. But no. John Zebro, you're live on the air. He would do a bass solo every show, and he would do the what is it, Halloween? He would do the 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 thing from that. And then he watched the movie one time and he's like, oh, I'm not even doing it right. He was leaving out a part. And so then he just started playing it over and over at practice. He wouldn't practice any of their songs. He just kept practicing that bass part like for like 2 straight hours. Apparently, almost everyone in this band is not alive anymore. Doug Grandin, Matt Kerwin. Yep. I rented from Doug Grandin's parents the house in Keyport. The old it was the old funeral parlor that was haunted, that somebody died. Bass solo take 89, yeah, pretty much. And they were like, dude, will you stop playing that stupid thing? You've been playing this for years. It's fine the way you got it. No, I got to get this right. Like, oh. Yeah, Matt Kerwin was one of those guys that he died like early, like in his 30s or early 40s, maybe. Like it was like a family thing. All the males died in like 35 years old or something like that. Tom was the singer. Me and him both like big girls. So when we were on the road, we would room together. And we would have fun with big girls. Set up a face podcast interview with him. Big girls are more fun. Yes, they are. Doug was married, but he was really, really into Asian women. That was his weakness. And Tom was like 5 foot, probably weighed about 80 pounds. And man, he liked, look, I got a 300-pound girl, 200 to 300 pounds. That's my sweet spot. He wanted like 400, 500 pounds. Like he wanted like supersized BBW women. And I say, good for you, sir. That's what you like. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it, Tom. It's coming. It's getting cloudy out there. Thunder and lightning. God seek revenge. Tom said, John Zebro is like the John Belushi Saturday Night Live sketch as an old man. Nobody thought I'd be the last one to go. Yep. Tries to also like Asian women, but not big Asian women. No, Doug likes tiny little Asian women. Although he was married to a woman who was not Asian and was not small. She wasn't huge. She just had Diane had a little bit of meat on her bones, which is nice. Frank worked with us, Steve Kerwin. Did he die? Charlie says 400 is too big. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to tell stories, talk out of turn, but we were, and I think we were at Toad's place in New Haven, Connecticut. And there was she had to be well over 400 pounds. And he was like, we're going to take her back to the hotel. And I was like, Tom, that's too much. That's just too much. No. Like instead of 500 pounds, let's get like a couple of 250s to take back. He took her back. I did not stay in that room that night. I think I actually crashed with John Zebro that night. Yeah, that was just that's just too much. Chad says, holy cow, man, give me that 120-pounder. That's what the HBO guy was after. Yeah, the HBO guy. I don't know who the HBO guy is. Apparently, there's a new Jesus Jones single. Just popped up on YouTube. I'm not watching it, but just saying. Jesus Jones. Bless me, heard that name. It's getting a little dark out. It's going to be so dark, I'm going to think it's nighttime. We're having pork loin for dinner and then probably some potatoes or something. Jesus Jones and the Mary Chain. I think you're right. Isn't it like 30 years too late for you, Jesus Jones? Mr. Jones? For those who don't know, I got a new video came up yesterday, making the wrong connections, to follow up my Wednesday last week of making the right connections. And I also did a series review video this morning about all 3 seasons of the show Undercover. Please watch them. Please watch the advertising that accompanies them. I would appreciate it. Yeah, just got an email. Don't miss out. John Z, I can get the report. Special 50% off. Nice. And unsubscribe. I haven't watched that one yet, but it sounds like the story of my life. Watch both. Now I'm going to watch them again and skip the ads. No. You can watch them 3 times. On the 4th time, you can skip the ads. But the first 3 times, I get paid. That's why I'm not making any money. Because Keith's only watching it 1 time with the ads. I got a nice list of things to do today. I'll probably do another several chapters on this book for me and Tom. Tom, start thinking about covers for this. Apparently, there's a Stephen Graham Jones is doing Off the Reservation, The Only Good Indians #2. Did you know about this, Chad? You probably did. It's 5 years after the events of Only Good Indians. Well, that was a good book. No soup for you. 1 year. I had soup for lunch, pasta visual. Because I've eaten so much crap. You know, like the 2 cosmic brownies I just ate. I have 1 cosmic brownie left, though. I'll save that for tomorrow. Chad says, no, I did not. I haven't even read Indians. Oh, I figured you had read that. I think that was only 1 of 2 books from him I read. I liked it. It reads like 2 different books, though. It's like he took an idea he was writing, and then he had another idea he was writing. He's like, let's combine this into 1 book. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just... Somebody say something about cheese so Nick can jump in. The hell is Lorraine? Well, don't read the second book until you've read the first one, Chad. Any cheese will do. There, you see? That's all you got to do. All you got to do. What are you busy working, Nick? What's going on? I'm getting off in a minute or 2. We miss you, my friend. We miss you. Looking forward to seeing you in, 6 weeks now? 6 weeks, maybe? I've read 1, maybe 2 of his books. I can recognize they are good, but just not for me. I'm shopping cheese for Frank. Don't buy it too early. You know, cheese goes bad. Cheese for everyone. Any Swiss you want? Nah, don't go nutty. Nutty Swiss. No. I think I'm good. Like there's no kind of like, oh, I cannot get this specific kind of Swiss here or anything like that. So you're spending enough money on your flight and everything else to get here, and I don't want to take advantage of you, like Frank is doing. Apparently, Elon Musk's mom has a memoir coming out. All kinds of great book news. You know what kind of Swiss I want, Nick? All the Swiss. All the delicious Swiss. So waiting for Peter to book his flight. And then everyone will be settled. So much email, so much garbage email. All right, everybody. I am going to wrap this up. Storms are brewing. And then I'm going to take a nap again, get some more of my stuff done off this list, get more of this book edited for me and Tom, and all that fun stuff. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for hitting subscribe. Thank you for watching 30 seconds or more of each ad, up to 3 times on each video, Keith. And I will see everybody on Wednesday. Come hang out with us on Wednesday. We'll look up John Zebro again. I've got a storm brewing, but you better go take care of that, Haas.